Okay, um, just gonna introduce myself. My name is Eric, um, and I just wanted to begin recording videos about my life, about how I became who I am. I actually am, like going through depression, and I believe I have mood disorders, I'm taking um, mood stabilizing medication, and I am also taking antidepressants. Um, I'm just going to, cover like the life events that have caused me to be in the place that I am. And also, I'm very paranoid because of these events, certain events, um, because it's just like an eternal scar. Even if I forgive the people who have, caused pain and caused these anxieties, even if I do that, it's not really something that I can completely forget and just it's always going to be a part of my life. Um, so to begin, I was actually bullied through my entire educational career. Elementary, middle school, high school, junior high. Not really college, but you know, by that time, it's not kids that we're dealing with anymore, right? So in in elementary school, very first time it was dealing with yo-yos. We had a yo-yo convention thing, like a yo-yo show by like a professional yo-yoer, um, and I bought like a cool like sleek black butterfly yo-yo. Um, it's where you can like reverse it and put it back together to have like a completely different form, like shape. Um, and they would show us tricks, and I learned, like the cradle, and also walk the dog, because those are pretty easy. Um, so a kid actually stole my new yo-yo um, out of my backpack, and I ended up getting it back. I was very sad for the time that I didn't have it, but it's not even that though. I barely had it for a while, like maybe even minutes before another kid uh, took it upon himself to seize this opportunity. For him, it was a great opportunity. See, he had a yo-yo that he'd been showing off all day. Apparently, he broke it and somewhat glued it back together with some kind of glue, super glue, whatever. Um, and then he decided to ask me if I want to trade. And at the time, I guess I felt like, okay, why not? I'm kind of getting tired of this yo-yo, which it was a very bad idea because turns out his yo-yo quite often would not spin. There was something wrong with that part of that yo-yo, and then when I took it home, I guess it didn't take much. It actually just like fell off, broke completely, where the inside, the bolt that like connects it, it just popped out. Like there's nowhere to put it back in. Like the actual plastic just broke off. So I probably shouldn't. Like one thing that you should. I guess it's one thing if you're tired of your games and tired of your toys that you could trade it, but see, the motives, like, um, the fact that all these kids, they take all these broken toys and cheap and boring games and they trade me, I feel like that's actually very wrong of them to do. It's very deceiving. Um, Young kids scamming other young kids. That's, in my book, that's very wrong. Like, I cannot believe that happened. One kid actually scratched off the sticker to a game cartridge for the Game Boy, and he said it was the new Mega Man game, and he asked me if I wanted to trade. I had just got 3 new games, and I was just like, okay, sure, Mega Man sounds, I like Mega Man, so sounds like a good trade. And unfortunately, I took it home, and it was Tetris. On the bright side, my sister liked Tetris, so I gave it to her, and she actually played it. So kind of got some use out of that, and I kind of couldn't even believe that my sister could enjoy a game like Tetris. I know there's probably a lot of Tetris fans, so please don't be hurt. Don't mean anything by that. So there was that, and then middle school. I'm not quite sure what grade, but I had just gotten to a new school, and it was very weird. Like, I had choir. I could not even believe it. I'm so glad I left because that kind of thing just does not suit me. I'm sorry. I had gym class, and that was the biggest, just the most traumatizing time in my life. The entire gym class was like, I don't know, but they were picking on me. And then we went to the locker room, and they formed a full circle around me, excluding one opening, which was actually into a open gate, into some kind of pit. Just, it was pretty crazy. And the coach actually had just gone into his office, and one big kid just held the door closed. And so everyone was like yelling and making a commotion, and the coach was pretty big. He was like huge, just buff, and he was just like, "What's going on out there? Open this door right now." And that's apparently all he could do about it. I can't believe it. And then even after that, no one got in trouble. Just nothing happened. And the thing about what happened in that circle, I was just trying to defend myself. I didn't do anything really, but like guard myself, but that didn't work out too well, because the first push I was okay, but then even though I stopped myself from hitting whoever I was pushed to, that guy actually ended up pushing me forward into another person, who pushed me into another person, who ended up pushing me even harder, and I was off balance, just completely off balance by then, and he pushed me into that gate. I fell back and hit the back of my head on concrete, and I could not talk for like 10 minutes, and I was just shaking for the whole time. I just sat down on a bench, and I was kind of like crying because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't say anything. I was shaking. Just, it felt pretty bad. And then there was just one guy who was just like, "Hey man, you okay?" That's all he said. It made me feel a little better, but where was that when it was 1 against like 30? Okay, it was like 3 Hispanic guys and the rest were black, and I think that's also why I end up being like, I'm almost racist. I probably am, but it's so bad. Like, I don't want to be, judging a full race by one um, by one experience, you know. But it's so difficult when you have such traumatic experiences. Um, Not just that, but I I've had a lot of experiences like this, and there was also one more Hispanic kid. I know his name, but I'm not gonna say names. In fact, I know the name of the kid who even scratched off the game sticker and scammed me with a Tetris game. I know all these guys' names, but I'm not gonna say any of them because, I mean, it really does no good. Um, Especially now, it won't help me. It won't help them. They could be changed. You know, they could be a changed person. Um, and I'm just gonna give them that chance. There was also one kid who always promised me a Pokemon card, like holographic, your first edition, fossil. Like, he would always just make it sound so good, and of course it was too good to be true. Like, he would be like, "Hey, at lunch today, if you give me your milk, I'll bring you this card. You know, if you give me half your lunch today, I'll give you, you know, like 5 cards tomorrow." And then tomorrow comes, I'm like, "When you bring it?" He says, "Oh, I'll bring it tomorrow with this one." And then it just piled up for like a whole year, and I was just like, I think I just became numb to it, and I just became like, that's also the time when I became more, man, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like I realized that I could just give him these things, you know, like, since he didn't have food, he didn't have lunch, so I just decided it doesn't matter if I, you know, get those cards or not. I'm gonna help him out. Like, I'm gonna make him believe whatever he says he's gonna do. I'm gonna just let him think he's getting away with it. But I mean, everyone's gotta have food, right? I just let him, you know, eat whatever he wanted. I really didn't care about the cards at that point. And I wasn't gonna call him out because that's pretty low for food. I mean, just imagine if you were starving, you know. So I just shrugged and let it go. Um, there was that, and then, you know, I had a crazy fascination for snakes, so I would just go around you know, class all the time. You know, "Hey, is there any way you can get me a snake?" So like, I ended up handing out money to all these kids, and of course, yeah, terrible idea. Never got a single one, and I think at least like 20 kids were involved in this. Okay, that's one exaggeration. I did not exaggerate before, and I'm quite sure that it was all black kids and 3 Hispanics in my gym class. But when I say 20 kids were involved in the whole snake ordeal, it was actually around 7. Yes, because, you know, it started out with like 2 kids. They were just like, "No, I'm sorry," and blah blah. And then all of a sudden, it's just like something just snapped, and like, not snapped, but clicked. Like, they had some kind of brilliant idea that they could scam me out of my money. Of course, it worked. And again, I can't believe this kind of stuff happened. But it's not just those kids. It's like all the other kids caught on, and they're just like, "Oh man, free money." Like, I think they even went around just telling each other, "Hey, you know, there's a cool new way you can get free money. You just go up to this kid and just be like, 'Hey, I'll get you 3. You know, just give me like $15." And that's exactly what happened. Moving on, high school. Even in high school, okay, I don't know if this was high school or junior high because it was in the same area. Anyways, there was this one Hispanic kid, and for some reason he just punched me in the back as hard as he could in the center, dead center spinal cord, it really hurt. But I just, again, I shrugged it off and I said, hey, I'm okay. And I just walked off and let him walk off too. I've had a lot of situations like that. People breaking into my locker, people stealing things out of my backpack all the time. But I just let them get away with it. But a lot of things like that made me paranoid. And then color issue. Like I have a lot of trouble with girls, and it's sad. It's probably the saddest thing. A lot of times I don't see myself as definitely not as attractive. Like there's a lot of like physical flaws and even like mental flaws. Like I don't really think like other people do, and sometimes I would get pretty wild. Also very random, very awkward, and I don't know. Just weird. Yes, weird is a very good word for that. I am very weird. A lot of times I don't want to be. I like who I am, but I also don't, because it's not very good for, like trying to get a girlfriend or whatever, or even professionally, it's just not good. I used to always be very shy, reserved. I didn't even say but like one word a day throughout my entire like elementary, middle school, high school. Yeah, it just, everyone knew I was quiet. I really want to continue. I know I have a lot of different stories and a lot of things to say, a lot of bad experiences. I don't want to get into all of it, but I do want to say that, I want to elaborate on the color thing. Like, a lot of times I don't see myself as being, like, Asian, but a lot of times I also realize that I am, of course, and I kind of show that as well, do things that only Asian people would do or could do, or I don't even know. I mean, obviously I eat with chopsticks, but so sometimes even the way I talk, I make myself a little bit different compared to, like white people, and just like 1%. I don't know. I guess it makes myself feel different and remember that I'm different. But the thing is, the important part is that I am different, and it's not good. Like, I realized that a lot of white girls, for some reason, their ideal type, or even fantasy, or whatever, I mean, maybe they'll settle, but it's really like a buff white military guy. Even if not white, it's still buff in the military for some reason. I know not a lot of you will agree, but then some of you deep down, maybe you just haven't, like, oh, I like this, I like that. Maybe you haven't really gotten it down, but I'm sure if you saw it, you would feel totally different. And then there's different situations. A lot of the Asian guys, one, they might not worry about that. They might be into Asian girls, and they might not have trouble, or even the area that they live in, because where I've been, it's just been, they don't even look at me. Like, it's like, oh my god, he's so weird. Oh my god, he's so Asian. It's never like, well, I have, I'm sorry, but it's a lot of, man, it's just all these girls who, I'm sorry, but I would not even consider dating, they would come up to me and be like, hi, you're cute, and then walk away, or just they would do all these crazy things. But it's so rare, so rare. Like once in like 6 years, like that's how rare that is. Like, I mean, but then how often do girls go up to guys and say, tell them that they're cute or otherwise? Actually, that's actually a serious question. I actually would like to know if someone has an answer to that. Like, if you've ever done that, I actually want to know. That's so interesting for me. I'm sorry. It. So, anyways, if anyone has questions, like, I would definitely not mind answering any questions that you have. I'm a very open person. Just, I don't know. I just really wanted to get some kind of message out there. I want to make as many videos as possible. I want to be as open as possible. I want to meet as many people as possible. It's just, I've missed out on so much, and I have this barrier, and just my mind, just everything inside of me keeps me from actually going out and talking to people and being social. I'm very, very, what is it? See, I'm even at a loss for words. It's probably because I'm a little nervous. I get nervous at times, and then those are the moments where I cannot find the words that I'm looking for. It's like where I'm kind of like unable to be social because I'm like really nervous. Social anxiety, yes. I have very severe social anxiety. I recently almost overcame it. I was at a very confident and very open, very expressing, man, hold on one sec. I really see when I am at a loss for words. I can't stop for some reason until I find that word. Anyways, yes, I knew it, but then when I was just elaborating, I lost track. Anyways, I was very confident and happy, and I actually went to a Facebook message to find that, because I actually talked to someone about how I was so confident and happy the last like 2 or 3 months, because that's when I started taking my medication, my antidepressants and mood stabilizers. But it turns out like after 2-3 months, and by that time I kind of lost my motivation, and I stopped taking it like one day out of the week or something like that, and eventually I just completely stopped taking it after not taking it for one weekend. No particular reason, but yes, it made a huge difference, because I started feeling more depressed, and I lost that. I mean, I gained still some confidence. I am more easily expressing myself, but in the same time, like, I'm actually causing more problems for myself as well, and that's actually quite a big downside to this. So anyways, I hope this video is not boring. I make pretty bad videos. I also cannot edit. I apologize for that. I know how it's boring to sit through awkward silences, or like slow words, or slow sentences, just slow paced everything. A lot of people, they'll cut between the times when they're thinking and making mistakes, errors, like redoing scenes, and you'll see them jumping from here to over here to over here. Like they're face like shifts because they like cut out a part of their video, did editing. It's all to like fill in gaps and make things more fast paced, easier to keep the listener from losing their attention. Like keeping their attention. And I kind of wish I could do that, but then again, you can see how I'm actually authentic. Like, I didn't say crap and edit it out, or something slip, like because I'm fake or something. Maybe I started saying something that showed the real me, because I'm sure it's a possibility for other people, because there are some fake people in this world, who just make all these videos to get views. But I really just want to get my story out there, and I would quite appreciate any questions. I don't care about views. I don't care about anything. It's just I kind of now want to know that people are listening to my story and can relate, or just appreciate any part of this video in general. Thanks for listening and watching.